Whitney Houston, 7 consecutive #1 singles. She shares the record with the Beatles. Ringo, George, Paul, and John. I don't even know if I love this country, but when I hear Whitney sing that, I'm obsessed with this country. I'll go to war. I decided I would go to war after I heard her sing that. I said, I'll go to war.
So good.
Because of what she was able to invoke in me. I said, I'll go to war.
Yeah.
And Monica knows this. I said, who needs me to fight?
They were accusing Whitney of being on crack on national television. She goes, crack is cheap. Do you think I would be doing crack? Crack is whack. And it became like,
which is amazing.
What would be a meme of that time? Definitely.
I agree.
Because she's like, I don't give a
Dare happening.
To me, Whitney Houston is the definition of diva. Like if you open Webster's dictionary, you're gonna see diva. You're going to see a picture of Whitney Houston. I'm not joking. I'm not even kidding. You're gonna see Whitney Houston next to her. It's just like period, because she had the talent, she had the personality, she had the style, the everything. And
she was
just like
a cultural icon, an absolute cultural icon. She blew up the 90s. With her in the movies.
Everybody.
With her in the Grammys.
Every singer to this day has been touched by Whitney and inspired by her.
Wow, these are
big. They have. They have. And she had diva energy. I'm sorry. We're talking about her on stage. Sorry, no offense. This is Mariah. This is Whitney slinking through, making eye contact. She's creating a vibe. Everyone is feeling too much. Yeah, she is sweating because she's working hard at being a diva.
Yeah, well, you know what? A real diva.
Divas don't sweat,
A real diva.
A
real diva has somebody that comes off and pats him off. That's a real diva. A diva controls her light. Ooh. A diva is put together. Ooh. She creates looks that people copy for generations to come. A diva takes on an entire season.
Mariah is like a one-hit wonder.
That is hilarious.
A little bit. And how I'm saying that is because if you kind of look at her catalog, and at most people, they'd be like, yeah, Mariah's like known for All I Want for Christmas Is You. That's the only thing I remember. That's the only time she's relevant for me is when she pops her little head out of her Groundhog Day.
And we're not saying this is what we think. We're not saying this is what we think.
Because in the comments, if you're like, oh my God.
We're saying that some
that's
people.
what people are saying.
You're telling me Heartbreaker?
Whereas Whitney Houston,
you have girls in Yosemite watching deep cuts for 8 hours.
The words one-hit wonder would never come out of your mouth when you think of Whitney Houston.
I feel like you should
Mariah Carey and one-hit wonder.
17 albums later.
Let's hear the rebuttal.
Time out.
Let's hear the rebuttal.
But we're just saying, we're not saying that's what we think. We're just saying that, come on, that's like a thing.
Y'all are going to let these two speak for y'all? Nor, babes. That don't make sense.
They're just somebody listening to YouTube for 8 hours.
They're not saying that.
Nobody's saying that.
Let's hear what you guys have to say. Do you think that Whitney Houston would ever in a million years be considered a one-hit wonder? No, you wouldn't. But is there a world in which some people might think Mariah Carey is?
I think there's a world where people go, Whitney Houston, that one song, The Bodyguard.
Nobody says that.
Maybe that's all they know.
Nobody says that.
Okay, then let's get into the real facts. Let's get into the hardware facts. Okay, this is the section that, yes, we're pitting them against each other, but you can't deny the actual facts.
200
numbers don't lie.
200 million records sold worldwide.
Mariah Carey,
220 million records sold.
Okay, 6 Grammys.
Okay, that's because Mariah's been alive longer. That's because Mariah's been alive longer.
Yes, good point. Excellent point. 6 Grammys. How many Grammys does Mariah have?
6 Grammys.
Oop.
Also, Whitney Houston,
award shows matter at all.
Whitney Houston, 7 consecutive #1 singles. She shares the record with the Beatles. Ringo, George, Paul, and John.
Okay.
What impact or what kind of mark did Whitney Houston leave her fans? Like when you think about Whitney Houston, what's like a line or two that would describe her legacy for y'all two?
I feel like her story, like the struggle, like you felt the pain and like emotion in her music. Like, I don't know if it's a phrase for me in general, but like, we're like Whitney, we're like, ugh, what an icon, what she went through, what she did for us.
And I think her music for me, and like when I listen to her singing, like anytime I turn on any Whitney song, I will literally just start to cry. And to be able to access, like for her voice and just like what she's doing, for that and then for me to be able to access emotions, which it's very hard for me to be a vulnerable person. I'm a comedian. I'm always trying to do that.
It's hard for her to be vulnerable.
It is. So that Whitney can do that for me just by like her beautiful singing. Like there's something about that. It just is like, okay. And also I love who she is, and I don't know.
Yeah, she's strong.
Whitney Houston broke so many racial barriers that like, so you can't even like, and Mariah wouldn't even.
So did Mariah. I mean, look at her.
I'm like, as a biracial woman, I think Mariah brought a lot of visibility.
But I'm just saying, Whitney.
Yeah, Beyonce wouldn't have blonde hair if it wasn't for Mariah Carey.
I think that is a semi-fair point.
She's kind of made an entire, like, look out of, like, people still copy her look.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'm just saying, I think that, like, for Whitney Houston singing a song like I'm Every Woman, and everybody being like, yeah, okay. Like there's like people.
I'm Every Woman is like, we have to pause on that because that really is a cultural moment.
And
that song was used for literally a lot of women empowerment.
I know, but I think it's
there are racist people that truly don't, they like see a black person and they're like, huh? But then whenever like Whitney came on and she was this like beautiful, powerful black woman who was singing I'm Every Woman, and her talent is undeniable. Literally, I'm telling you, like racist people are like, well, okay, I guess black people are awesome.
That's Whitney
like
cured racism. I'm fucking straight.
Wait, Mariah Carey is black.
Racism, bitch.
Yeah.
You learn something. The more you know.
The more you know.
She done cured it all, girl.
Wait, so was Mariah Carey?
Whitney came out shaking that bob, and white people said,
I'm not saying she cured it.
Maybe black people are okay.
I'm saying that Whitney was before Mariah, and she was obviously like, you know what I mean? Like,
so because Mariah Carey was light skinned, you don't think she had the same impact?
No, I'm not necessarily saying
that's not what we're
that.
saying.
Is that what you're saying?
No, here's what we're saying. Here's what we're saying.
Clear it up.
We're gonna clear it up.
It is an important thing because obviously Mariah being more light skinned, she was more palpable to racist people. That's what I'm saying, because it's like, but. Yeah, so it was harder for Whitney.
It's a good point. Yeah. It's a good point. I think what we're saying is that Whitney is a cultural icon in a lot of ways, breaking a lot of barriers. Like we said before, actor, incredible musician, had the talent, had the range, had the personality, and like the star presence. And in a time where we are not giving the flowers to POCs, this was an incredible step forward.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to take away from Mariah.
Mariah also did, I think, amazing things and still continues to do amazing things. But and it has not. I don't.
And you guys agree with us.
We're not talking anything
you
about
guys agree with
light
us.
skin, dark skin.
Yeah.
No. We're not saying any of that stuff.
What I'm trying
we're
to say.
saying I think both deserve incredible flowers. They're very different in my mind. Like we said before, Mariah is a little bit more like reachable for audiences, influencer, has fun with virality, accessible, has fun.
Let's not
changing
forget all
herself.
her fragrances.
Totally, but Whitney was like a person who wasn't going to change for anyone else. She was like an artist.
Whitney couldn't even be herself, Monica.
When I re-listened to Whitney singing the national anthem and that tracksuit, which by the way, I've got a bid out on eBay for that tracksuit.
I know, that would be so funny if we came in those tracksuits.
You're the exact same measurements as Whitney Houston, is what you're saying to us?
No.
She wants to put it in a glass box.
She was sort of, no, I don't know. It's not Whitney's tracksuit. There is a look-alike tracksuit on eBay that I have a bid out for. And I'm waiting.
Tracksuit is
she's waiting.
It's just somebody's, but it's similar. Anyways,
get back
I don't think I'm the same size as her, but also maybe we're both kind of like tall and skinny.
Okay, so the Star-Spangled Banner. Let's break it down.
I don't even know if I love this country, but when I hear Whitney sing that, I'm obsessed with this country. I'll go to war. I decided I would go to war after I heard her sing that. I said, I'll go to war.
So good.
Because of what she was able to invoke in me. I said, I'll go to war.
Yeah.
And Monica knows this. I said, where are we going? Vietnam? Who needs me to fight?
I think if you want to get in the comments right then, just don't. You know what I mean? Don't get in the comments about that.
I'm so anti-war, but when I heard it, I was like, I'll go to war.
Bring the draft back.
Here it is. Mariah's in a tracksuit, okay? She's on the football field. There's a full symphony behind her. They go, it's about to start. And she just stands there. The symphony starts. And we have never heard a Star-Spangled Banner like that. Like,
we heard Marvin Gaye and it was really good, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't just like, it was powerful, and she was so like, if you watch that clip, like she's so relaxed, and there's so much
effortless.
power exuding from her, and it's never been done like that.
When
really
she
hasn't.
sings, this is the thing I watch. When she sings and her mouth, the vibrato she does with her mouth, it like blows me away. I get chills thinking about it. Like, I don't even know how she does it.
So we can all agree that the media pit Whitney and Mariah against each other, and that was wrong.
That was
right?
wrong.
Yes,
Yes,
we're
it
not
was
doing
wrong.
that.
But you know what? You know what ruins every good woman out there?
What?
A f***ed up man.
Hey, we've all been in bad relationships. But I think that Whitney's, wanting to be loved and be in a relationship, that just speaks to her as a human. Like, and so to make it seem like, oh, she shouldn't have done that, that ruined her. I don't think it did. I think it almost added more emotion to
I think it
her
killed
songs.
her. I think it killed her.
Well,
This is
killed- I
speculation.
think it let-
yeah.
You can't say like what.
I think
what
when she
will
went down,
say-
crack killed her. What do you mean?
But it could also be fame.
Mm.
Because
it could be
so
fame.
what you can't
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
like, well, that killed her. Like, it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but
Are you saying
to
that maybe
speak
you
about
feel
that
like it's
is
a
just
culmination of many things?
Versus like
including
one
instead
relationship.
of one
Yes, and I'm
relationship?
just saying, like,
and both things can be true.
Yeah.
as
like, you know
somebody
what I'm
who
saying?
also like has a hard time and doesn't always get into the right relationship, it's like you can't say that that's like necessarily like, it's not about it whether it being bad or good. It's just like what it was, and that's who she decided to be with. And but also at the end of the day, when I listened to her saying, "Didn't we almost have it all?" I almost, in a way, like it helps me relate more because I'm like, you know what, she's not perfect and she's had some hard times as well, and that's why the songs are more powerful for me.
And you also made a good point, which is that Whitney was married to Bobby, obviously, but liked women. And in this day and age, might be considered pan.
So that's not like a known thing. No, not everybody knows about this, but in this Netflix documentary, we all learned, and
That
we're very happy
Whitney
to
liked
hear
women?
that Whitney liked one. She was with this one woman who was like her
Well,
friend.
yeah, Robin was
Yeah.
a very, and they had a very like, they said in the documentary that sometimes Robin was the only one that was able to get Whitney out of bed to do things, because it was obviously her, like, it's hard to be this like performer that's just like on demand all the time. And so Robin and Whitney, they had like kind of a codependent relationship.
No,
It was-
I can't imagine it because
And Bobby
like,
was very threatened.
by
Robin.
their
Wow.
relationship. Like I
Yeah.
can't imagine having to do what we do where we have to like push ourselves so much, and then meanwhile you're like kind of hiding the secret. Like I was in the closet for a long time, unknowing, like because I had so much internal homophobia. Can you imagine in the 90s where there's so much homophobia, being such a person in the news, you're with someone and they like see you holding hands or something, like just the pressure of that,
And
I
Whitney
think
grew
really
up in the
got to
church
her.
as
Yeah,
well.
she grew up
you
in the
know, So
church.
like maybe she was conflicted as well in trying to figure it out.
And obviously a lot of people, when they get involved with drugs, that's what they're doing. They're trying to run away from their demons, and that's what she was doing. And so, but
It's like
but
just eat a
her,
pussy, you know?
her power and her voice and her, I mean, yeah. So anyways, but that, to me, that makes me love her even more.
But it makes me, look at Mariah, and even like she got through all of this, like, and she's still thriving. Like, I mean, not to say, I mean, I don't know if they had different. It's not one is harder
like
than the
Mariah
other.
Carey had like a perfect life after Tommy Mottola, but I think that it is important to note that both artists, Mariah and Whitney, have been through like crazy relationships.
Yeah.
And as human beings, artists, we all have choices. And Mariah made her choices, and we see where those led her today. And Whitney made her choices as well. And that is why we are here speaking upon her legacy versus an artist that is still with us today.
Yeah.
That
Fair?
was really
Yeah,
beautifully
fair
put,
point.
honestly.
Beautiful.
Like, I
Yeah.
feel like I could tear up with you just saying that.
I know.
because it was beautifully
That's
put.
how I look at it. You know, we
No,
all
but
have
I mean,
choices.
imagine being like under that kind of public scrutiny when you're
Mhm.
like the number, like everywhere you go, every move you make, somebody's going like, what are you doing? What are you
Oh,
doing? And then you
totally.
get involved in drugs, and it's like, you're fighting your
and
own battle.
The other thing about Whitney, and I don't really know about Mariah, but I know that Whitney loved her family so much and literally employed her whole family. So think about like the weight of like all of her money and her fame and success, and she was like responsible for all of her family's like employment. And so I don't even know what that would feel like and what that would look like. And then just like, trying to be a person.
Me too.
Whitney passed away in 2012, and I know obviously maybe people like remember where they were whenever they found the news. For me, that isn't like as relevant. And I know you guys are gonna make fun of me, but like to me, Whitney Houston is still very much alive. I know that her daughter, Bobby Christina, was talking to Oprah on an interview, and she said that Whitney still like visits her and talks to her. And I believe that full-heartedly because she was such a powerful presence.
She's
And
like,
so I
"Mommy,
don't know,
Christina,
it's
get
weird
up."
to me. Like, I'm like, oh, I guess,
So
yeah,
weird.
she's passed away, but she is so like energetically still with me.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's another
no,
thing we
it's
didn't
so
talk about.
true.
They're both like strong. They're moms too. Like
Oh,
not only
yeah.
are they like strong women fighting these men, but they're also like raising kids
And they love their families.
and they
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
their families.
Yeah.